to some members of the audience, please. And I have the names here. Ajay Gopal is from BMSC Bangalore. He has a question. He's for the motion, I think. Yes, Ajay.
I'll go ahead and say that the political class have not only failed to meet the aspirations of the youth of India, but they've gone a step ahead in assuming that we are ignorant, naive, and will remain silent irrespective of what they do. They've become a class unto themselves, and they believe, and there's a sense of arrogance in them. Some time ago, during the course of the debate, Vipul said that the political class is the voice of the people. And what is the voice saying? That the women are dented and painted. Just because we achieved freedom at the stroke of the midnight hour doesn't mean that women can walk about after dark. There's a political class who expects us to have a full and filling meal at rupees 10. And the gentleman who said rupees 5 is going to have free meals very soon at the cost of the state exchequer. My contention lies in the very fact that why was such a bill was raised in the first place? Yeah. Where was your sense of morality when you thought that we could allow criminals enter the parliaments and sit there?
Answer, Sachin. I think you're the best person to take that.
I'm not here to defend people who are convicted by any court, lower court or high court. The sense was that the political consensus, by the way, I'm not pointing fault at the BJP, but the political consensus in the discussion that we had recorded was that all political parties told the government that let's do this, let's pass a bill in parliament. Didn't go through. Hang on, let me finish. The Congress party reconsidered its stand, made the government change its position, and today that bill has been withdrawn, the ordinance has been withdrawn. I can understand your point that why wasn't it done at the right time. My point is that it's been done. The time, of course, could have been different, but the fact that it's been done, it's because there was a pressure, there was within the party thinking about why we must do the right thing, respect what the BJP says, what other people have said.
Sachin, on a lighter note, I am touched by the faith that you have in the Bharatiya Janata Party. And the manner in which you allowed yourself to be guided.
Touched at all. I didn't know you had the sensitivity to be touched at all. I'm very flattered that you are.
I am so tempted to jump into the debate. Ajay, can I just, before I come back to Shankar, briefly?
I suspect there's something wrong with the acoustics here. He keeps saying dynamic and I keep hearing dynastic.
Our second question is coming in. It's from Nivya Shetty.
It's absolutely relevant to Sachin's, if I could make a statement. I have a news clipping of Economic Times of 26th January 2010. And this is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's. I have a news clip, so it's absolutely relevant.
Yeah.
She said this on 26 January 2010, Economic Times, and it says, must clean politics of criminals, Sonia. Do you know what? This is what she said. If she said this in 2010, and she said exactly what the ordinance has belied, why did she say this? This is the problem. You say something else in 2010, that the parties must get rid of criminals. And here, you exactly do the opposite. My point is, how do we believe anything which politicians say today? Anything. Here is it 3 years said, and it is undone. Undone by the ordinance.
Well, two youth participants want to respond on behalf of the government, I presume. Vipul Nanda has been waiting for some time. Vipul, you want to speak?
Ma'am, I must begin by saying that the question here is those representatives, they've been elected. They've been elected in spite of being criminals. They've been elected by people who, in spite of them being criminals, feel that this is the best representative for them. We can impose our judgment as much as we like on any individual in the world and pass a value judgment to all choices that we make. But we don't know what's going on in their mind, and we can't question it. The basic premise of democracy is everyone's allowed to make their own choice. Unless you are suggesting that Sonia Gandhi imposes her personal will on every decision the Congress party makes from now until the point that she retires, I think that would be more of a complete betrayal of democracy than having a system that allows people to elect who they want, where they want, and when they want it.
Well, okay, count.
You're claiming right now that these politicians are elected because of the will of the people, right? And you told us it's the people that came out and gave the suitcases to the politicians. My question is simple. When a member of Raj Sabha, Mr. Rashid, recently was convicted for selling seats in medical colleges, what hope do the people have? I don't think that the society came together and said that we want to reflect ourselves in the polity by creating a government which requires us to pay for the medical seats which we will never be able to afford, right? So this expectation from the political class isn't a reflection of the society because the society doesn't want to pay for medical seats that it can get based on merit.
One point at a time, for us.
See, are there any DU students here? Can you raise your hands? Any DU students?
Okay, is it not true that votes in your student union elections are cast on liquor bottles, the rain dance party tickets, and the latest movie releases, right? When we ourselves are, every party does this, by the way. I'm not here to play any blame game. I'm just here to say a word of caution. When we ourselves are making our student unions irrelevant, our agency irrelevant, it's surprising that in all this debate, nobody has raised anything to do with, any point to do with student unions, because we've left them in the lurch, we've forgotten about them, and we hate to talk anything related to them. Our parents discourage us from going into politics. We think it's something dirty to do. We think it's unfashionable to go out, to ask for votes, to campaign, and then we start blaming all the politicians for everything that's wrong. Where is our sense of accountability?
No, you have a solid point. From banning books, movies, textbooks, school curriculum, I think political units of political parties at the student level have led from the front. I mean, we know what Aditya Thackeray did when he campaigned against Rohinton Mistri's book. And he pushed himself on the Mumbai University Vice-Chancellor. You want to counter, but I'd actually want to comment from the audience, if you don't mind. And our next audience question is coming in from Nivya Shetty of Sophia High School in Bangalore. Is she here, please? Nivya? Yeah, go ahead. Take the mic. And if you have a specific question to a specific person, that'll be great.
My question is directed at you. So at the outset, I would like to say that I feel the Aam Aadmi Party is as ideologically different as can be from any political party in this country. Because me, that is a non-politically affiliated youth, feel that we have a real chance of getting into public life through forums provided by parties like y'all. But having said that, I have a few issues regarding some views y'all have expounded lately. One of them being that your central model of governance completely involves what the consumers have to dictate. But say on issues like the pricing of critical commodities like petrol or gas and water, I think I speak for everyone when I say that if we have a say in the pricing of these commodities, we'd like them to give it to us for free. So that is one point down. And the other one you'll also talk about is the oil exploration which the government, y'all feel, has awarded to the foreign companies and not so much to the country as such. So this is to say that people who have actual expertise in the area are to be kept aside because we feel we're giving away money to the outside companies rather than give it to the government. Also, you all talk about the electricity rates having to be reduced through private agencies. This is to say that basically the highly erratic supply of power through the central government or through the state government can be priced as high as possible, but that to be provided by the private agencies should be reduced. So in summary, your economic policy is anti-privatization, feels that the government must take forward its stance on every issue, irrespective of people who have an area of expertise. So do you feel that if the Aam Aadmi Party comes to power today, there is going to be the multiple organ failure that you stated exists in the party and will also be reflected by your party?
Very happy that you asked these questions. And the premise of that question lies in the fact that here is something that promises to be different. And that really, I mean, we're not into Congress versus BJP versus Aam Aadmi or whatever party. The whole point of the country right now is that all of us feel suffocated by the political establishment. And anything which appears to be somewhat different catches our attention, makes us ask questions. And we must ask questions. But the very fact that you rose and asked the question about a tiny political party, to my mind, makes the case of how much the suffocation with the existing political class must be. On your specific questions, we are developing our economic policy. We have nowhere said experts are not to be consulted. All we said was private monopolies of national resources are not to be accepted. All we said was that the government must live by its own contract, and no private player should be able to dictate prices to the government, to dictate cabinet reshuffles, to get ministers who have the courage to oppose them removed. That's all we said. We did not demand free electricity. All we did was that we produced evidence for collusion between government, regulators, and private players in electricity. All we demanded was that the CAG should audit it. And whatever the CAG decides, even if it's higher than the existing prices, we are willing to live by it.
I think it was a very focused question on the Aam Aadmi Party. I don't want to veer away from the subject at hand, which is really whether the political class has been in touch with the aspirations of the people. Sachin is tempted to respond to you, but I'll come back actually. I want to steer this debate back to where we started after Sachin's response.
Mr. Yadav, I have an assessment, and tell me if you agree with the assessment or not. I feel there is a similarity between your leader, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and Mr. Narendra Modi. And I'll say why. Mr. Anna Hazare became who he is and prominent because he was seen by the side of Mr. Anna Hazare. And Anna Hazare was the face of everything that you were doing. Today, Anna Hazare has been kicked out and Mr. Kejriwal is in the front face. Mr. Modi did the same thing with Mr. Advani. Mr. Advani made Mr. Modi who he is, he kicked him out and today has taken center stage. So somewhere there is a attempt to get political importance by kicking out people who have been your mentors. Is that principled in nature? Do you believe that's okay for someone to be treated so badly?
Sachin, one second. You see, this is a very interesting tactic that politicians usually adopt.
It's a simple question.
No, one second. I am practiced. I know you are happy to respond. I know he's happy to respond back, and then she'll respond, and I know where this is go. You see, as a practiced performer in this whole business of political debate, let me say this. Don't move away from the subject. This country wants change, and let's go to big change. What is big change? Don't give tickets to criminals. Have the right to reject. And for God's sake, if you preach so much, bring your parties under the Right to Information Act. That's big change. Take this vote in the House today. Let's debate that. And immediately, I'm absolutely sure that political parties do that across the board, then the youth of this country will say that we are totally in sync with the political class. So that's the debate subject.
Criminals.
I have brought the debate back successfully on track, and Harsimrat Kaur Badal will now agree to implement all these three in her own party.
No, I will do that after you start off by saying that first the public to promise that they will not vote for criminals and let the educated youth go down and educate that villager counterpart
till
of
that
his
happens,
not to do
till
that.
that happens, you will continue to give liquor bottles and put up criminals in
No, we need to do it simultaneously. It needs to be done simultaneously. It cannot, one hand and the other not functioning. It will not function.
Are you saying that we will continue to give tickets to criminals, we will not give people the right to reject, and we will not bring political parties under the RTI, we will distribute liquor bottles and cash and then blame society
allow
for it?
briefcases.
Arnab, can I?
All those things need to be gotten rid of. But if you think just one class of people, because they're the political people, can set it all right, you're mistaken. Society needs to work as hard to set it right, and together we need to set it right.